arriving at destination.
G'day gamers and welcome back to Nuclearies in the startup mode once again. This is our second time round. Just a few things have changed with updates in the background, how you fill the internal loop, the outer core, as well as a few other things I want to show you. So let's get stuck into this and let's just skip this on through. Apply the brakes, open the door, flashlight on. We have a new station all the way down there to get some pumps, which you can access via this start button, or you can just go ahead to the main entrance where we are now. Obviously the escape is right there, so let's turn this all off and let's get this facility up and running. There's many things broken and this should be your first tutorial or first playthrough when you get this game. Kind of shows you everything and more in between, how to fix cables, how to fix pipes, and kind of everything you really need to get this plant in operation and just up and running, because it hasn't been in operation for about 10 years. Plan to show you all of that and more, so let's go on all the way up to the top as we need some lights on, and I'm pretty sure our generator needs some fuel and will need to be turned on. So you can see there's no fuel just there. Get some of these, let's plop some in nice and quick, and we'll go and dump this one over here in the bin, clean up the world, get rid of that, and let's just start this, because everything takes time to either prime up, prime down, or either turn on, close, open, all those sorts of things. So if you're turning a pump on, it'll take some time for it to actually work. I know there was a bit of fuel left in that one, but I'd rather get rid of it out of my inventory. Let's turn all of these lights into the on position for functionality, as well as coming on over here quickly and grabbing the batteries out of this rack that they are only able to be charged from the facility. And in this one, they are able to be charged and used at the same time. So make sure they're over here, and this is all the way up like that, nice and easy. Now that that's done, we can just go ahead and turn this to the off, so we can actually use the full capacity of our batteries nice and easy. I'm going to go ahead and grab all 6 of these oil cans. For 3 of our pumps, we'll need to top up the AO battery, the welder machine, the repairing pliers, the spare rod controller. And I don't need to, but I'll grab a couple fuses and I'll explain what these are for in case it does happen in your game. That's everything we need from that room, so let's use the elevator that's now working with the electricity. There is an external power supply that you can turn on, but make sure you go to bank and invoices, service invoices, and have that clicked and checked to to auto pay any outstanding bills and stuff, because if you are not paying your bills on that, they'll just cut you off. And if your generator blows up, you haven't got a spare one, and you need control of lights, pumps, all that sorts of stuff, just flick this switch on. That's the one I've been talking about. That's the one you'll need to pay for the external power service themselves. So first of all, I'm just going to go around and turn all of these switches on so there's no confusion. I kind of missed that one a little bit. Let's get all of these on nice and quick like that. I didn't hold the shift button on that last one, so I didn't skip the animation. No chemicals, no weather, and no RNG failures are installed on this scenario, just by default. Don't really have a choice in that one, and as AO looks away, let's get that maintenance analysis going ASAP so we can get those valves unstuck and more. We can fix one of the pipes and all that with ourselves. Make sure you check out last episode where I go ahead and fix that, but I won't be doing that in this episode. So if you've got your panels on, and they are definitely on, there's 2 for this one specifically, but the lights are not working, go behind it, go behind this door, through on, around, and actually make sure you go to the correct panel. So the reactor core, they're all kind of named and things like that. Open this up, make sure it is off before touching the blackened and charred fuses that would be there, but they're perfectly fine. Make sure you turn it back on and close that up nicely. Once that's all actually working and nice and spanky new, it should then power back on. Sometimes when you turn these panels on, it can actually blow the fuse from time to time. I have noticed that in the background. Our vent valve for the core is currently open, even though the panel over here says it is closed. This one is not correct, and we'll need to fix that. As well as the C3 valve that says it's closed, which it is. So let's see if we can go and fix that. But let's first explain how to fill this tank, your internal core vessel, and your outer core vessel, which these are both empty, as well as that one. So first of all, Let's turn this external primary reservoir pump on. That'll start filling that one from an unlimited water source. And this is the tank just on the water's edge, as you can just read there. Need to turn the internal primary reservoir pump on to actually start filling this one, pulling from this tank directly. So that'll fill up from this tank here. If this is empty, this has got nowhere to actually fill from, if that makes sense. So now we need to get this internal vessel filled with our feed water circuit pump. And this one here and this one here will fill up from this tank specifically. So make sure there's water in both of these, so these are actually be able to fill up. On a side note, if you want to empty your internal core vessel with your RCV valve open, you will start lowering your internal core vessel. That's this gauge, whoop, right here. If I can stop zooming, that'd be good. This one here, and that will empty into this tank here. So make sure there's always room left in there in case you need to empty some out, whatever excuse you may have at that present moment. There's a couple things for when you need to load the outer core vessel, which we'll do in a second, and that includes opening the valve where my cursor is right there to make sure that that outer core vessel is able to load through that actual valve, etc. I know these control rods are broken, so let's trigger the hidden objective just like that and acknowledge the alarm nice and easy so it doesn't go off. What we can do here is set our control rods to 100%, no reactivity, no temperature when you hit that scram button, and it will set the rods to 100% inserted, so there's none of those. Just for OCD, I'm going to get that done. Oh my god, hey, oh, stop talking, that'd be awesome. Alright, now that that's all triggered, this is all filling up. We'll need to get our condenser filled up, which I might as well do just now, while we run downstairs ever so quickly and actually go and fix those pumps. Top everything up nice and quickly, and we can try and get our stuff unstuck through AO, pay him to fix it, and get all that stuff done. So let's just go all the way up here, and I'm going to fill up one of these pumps very quickly with the oil, and I can do the other two kind of off camera, but show you where they are in case you are curious. There's only 3 of these pumps, and you need 6 bottles to fill up these 3 pumps. They take 2 each to get it in that green value nice and easy. So I'll just drop that on the floor and jam that in the backpack. Fall damage in this game is a real thing, so make sure you don't, as I say that every time, bypass on, so your player can get in control of this valve, but unfortunately it's stuck. So we need to turn the bypass back off. So the switches in the RCR, the control room, will actually work when we tell it to do something like open or close or whatever it may be. Let's not try and die in the scenario so we don't have to restart. I could fix this, and it's rather kind of hard and easy at the moment. Drop the electrode box on the ground, get the welding machine in your hand, left click the hell out of that one, and you just want to work from left to right without that bar going all the way to the very end, or you'll actually redden one of those green circles down the bottom and you'll lose a chance. It'll undo your work. If you lose all chances, you need to get AO to fix it. This one's a little bit hunky-dory at the moment with the game mechanics and the updates, etc. So it's not as easy as it used to be. The vent valve, we need to do the same thing and give it a quick check, because every save isn't always exactly the same, I've found. Sometimes they can be stuck, sometimes they're not. I don't know if that's meant to be like that or not, but let's go on down to the spare rod controller that is broken before topping up the other 2 pumps with oil. Oh, I am actually really hurt, and I'm going to need to go and fix that if I can, because I don't want that heartbeat noise running in the background. So we can just probably run upstairs. We should be safe like that. Replace the rods. Excellent. We should be able to run somewhere. I need to open that door. If I can get some health. That's not for that. That's just a decontaminate. I've never actually used this, to be honest, but that's exactly what it looks like. I'm pretty sure there's nothing I can do in here, but let's give this a shot. I'm pretty sure it'll say I'm not contaminated, so it won't work.
The process cannot be completed.
Yeah. Didn't think it would. but that's exactly what that looks like. Unfortunately, we'll just have to ignore the background heartbeat until it actually fixes it. And hopefully I don't die in the background. But I'll go ahead and fix these two pumps up. Nice and easy. There's one of these two. And there's the other pump just down there, nice and easy. So I'll just get this done nice and quick. And we should get back into the RCR with that maintenance report and get all that stuff fixed up nice and easy. There we go. There's that second pump. I've just sped up the time because you do eventually get your health back after a certain time. I just don't want to die in the process before I can start regenerating health like I am now, which is good. Excellent. So that shouldn't take too long and we should get AO's report back. And this is how you also escape if you need to, a little tip. Let's run back upstairs and get that AO stuff fixed. How are we going on it? 96%, excellent. Nearly done. By the time we get back in here, it should be good. Our condenser is completely full, so we can go ahead and turn this off, as that's completely full, just about. I'm not too worried if it's too full, because when we fill this up, we'll actually be pulling liquid from this itself, so that shouldn't be too bad. And hopefully our health will stop making the noise. That's alright, I guess that is perfectly fine. I can see if I can help that in the editing. Not sure why it is still feeding at the moment, but let's get the automated crane to bring it on over. While we get AO, actually, we shall turn the vacuum pump off before doing this time skip, because everything is still running in the background. When you go ahead and get all three of these pipelines and both of those hydraulic valves, only you need to get these done. That's it. Except that one, wait for the time to be skipped, and you can't go any faster than this. Everything's running in the background, like your internal generators using fuel, as well as my internal, external, and the freight pump for the internal vessel are all still running at the same time, filling things up. It takes about 2-3 hours for your internal core to fill up, and about 1 to 2 hours maximum to fill your outer core loop. You can't do any of that. You can't put fuel into the core if your outer core vessel is full of water. So that's why I did that now before starting to fill up, as well as fixing and changing up that rod control. Nice and easy. So now we should be all good. We should now be able to start filling things up. So let's get this filled up while we go ahead and open the C3 valve that we need to do. There we go, just there. That's starting to open. And let's close the vent core valve 01, just like that. Let's get our thermostat and pressurizer on, because we don't want any steam bubbles at all. And let's go ahead and start the nominal and boot that into the core, because we're not bringing up any temperature and that won't do absolutely anything while we're starting to bring up that pressure quite a bit. So that should be nice. This should start filling up rather shortly. There it is, right on the money. Because the vent, that valve finally opened. So now let's just go over here and turn that valve off, so it's not in operation. We don't need it to be like that. And let's turn that one off as well. Nice and easy. Even though the next person's shift can fix any of our problems, we just need to get power up and running as soon as we possibly can. And that is lowering, because that is raising. That's just the way it works. I'm going to speed up the time so we can speed this up a little bit. Get to 25, click it down to 25, and then turn that off. Yep, good. That should be good. Vacuum off. Excellent. That's what was over pressurizing in the background. Let's get that, and let's go over here. Let's turn our feed water circuit off. These are starting to fill up nicely. Let's fill up our outer core vessel while we're starting to bring this temperature up, because we've got lots of water on our inner core vessel, and the outer core vessel is more of a kind of just to make sure that it's all contained and it won't have any problems. So let's get this temperature raising and let's start bringing up some power. Let's start it on about 40%, I think should be okay. And let's go ahead and open the breaker, because in the scenario, this was released before the synchroscope and it hasn't quite caught up, and we don't want to damage the power lines on the way out, even though that's a hidden objective and we're going to have to do that anyway. I want to make sure that there's no damage to our power lines in the facility in your career save, so that's what I'll do anyway. Make sure any power we are generating will go over to your resistor when they are turned on. Otherwise, your turbine will internalize the power because it can't output to the grid with the breaker open, and it will actually blow itself up. So make sure that doesn't happen. We've got all that going. We should be a-okay to start bringing up some power, and I'm going to yank those core rods out to about 90%. Yeah, pull them out by 10%. That should be okay. That should bring up that temperature rather quickly. And I don't honestly need this panel on at all. I can actually save a bit of power that's represented on this screen here. And they've finally updated all the weather and all that sorts of stuff. Yes, I know, low vessel. That's just telling me that the outer core vessel is low. And I didn't actually open that valve to allow the outer core vessel to fill like I said I was going to. I should have just enough time if I do it quickly. That heartbeat in the background is a little annoying, I'll tell you what. This is the vent I need to open to allow the outer core vessel to be able to fill up. So let's just run back up there again. We should have more than enough time to get that steam generator on while it's coming up to temperature as we speak. Starts at 100 degrees and it will start boiling things off. So definitely right there already. Let's get it to about 35, 5 below what our primary coolant system is at the present moment, and that should be okay. Now our outer core vessel can fill, because with the internal and external core pumps, these two external primary reservoir pumps, the ones that fill these two up, also run through, if I can zoom in, of course it won't let me zoom in now, runs through that pipe running towards the back. That's the tank that fills your inner core. That's the tank that fills your outer core. That's why that pump's on. That's the outer core pump that's filling it up. Nice and easy there. So we're almost there. That's good. Let's bring this to 95. Let's bring it on over here. And are we going down or are we going up? 47, 35. We are dropping and we are at, what's the name? So let's set that to 50 and take that to 45. So we should start bringing up some power any second now by representing on this gauge here when we start actually generating stuff, which we should do any second. Any second. As you can tell by the synchroscope going absolutely nuts, because we are not in synchroscope with the actual city's electricity that other power plants are generating. So let's get this to 98. That should be okay. 9, 10, 11. We are already at 10,000 just about, and we're only generating 30 kilowatts. That's really rather good. On the safe side, I'm going to start bringing up the turbine bypass to bypass any steam our generators producing around the turbine, not creating power. That's going straight to our condenser and making this a lot hotter than it normally would if it was going through that actual turbine itself. So I'm going to turn this on to 10% because I want this to sit around 70, 80 degrees. So our steam generators don't have to work so hard to turn that water back into steam to go through the turbines, to come back over to the condenser, those big concrete towers out front of nuke facilities that turn the steam back into water. So what's our core going? Reactivity's a little high. That's okay. Let's just bring this up just a little bit because we're definitely going to bring the power up in just a second. 7,000. There goes our resistor. I'm just going to turn that off right now because we are just about synchroed with the grid. I'm just going to raise this up so it goes in the clockwise motion a little bit faster. And I'm going to slow it down now. I want to lock it up the top. Too fast. And lock there, please. Let's close the breaker. And we are now outputting to the grid. Our resistor bank will blow up. And that's what you don't want to do. Make sure that this is not over 5,000. That your resistors cannot take anymore. That's their capacity, 5,000 per resistor, unupgraded. So that was a bit of a boom boom, but I'm not going to start again. Let's go this. So what you can also do, if you really want some power, I can show you something. I really want power because we're currently in a scenario and we're in easy. So there's no penalty to overproduce power to what the city is wanting. So we are already producing what the city's demanding, but I want more. I want to produce 15,000 to bump this number up ASAP so we can get the 500 between the hours of 0500 and 0600. So we've got 30 minutes to bump that number up. So let's bump that to 100 and let's start bumping this up slowly to keep up with it. At the same time, we are also going to severely reduce our reactivity, which I think is... that should be okay. It's dropping a little bit more. Let's go to 98 even. And set that right there. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Our outer core vessel is still filling up slowly, and that hasn't caused any problems. Internal vessels a little low. We might as well just top that up just a little bit. Don't want any steam bubbles. 6, 7, and then we'll turn that back off again. So that's nicely topped off. Excellent. Come on over here. This is dropping. Yep, let's get this up to 70. It's dropping by about 10 liters a second. We need to fight that. There we go, as it comes up. Excellent. So now we're producing 10,800, where before we were only producing about 8,000. So now we really want to bump that up even more, and we're just waiting for the steam generator to start catching up, as well as raising this temperature a little bit more. No more than 100 degrees, so you'll get a 3-mile island. You'll burn off all your water in your condenser, and your system will burn out. This will go nuts. You'll create a meltdown and all that sorts of jazz. Becoming harder and harder to actually cause a meltdown in this game compared to what it used to be back in the day. You used to be able to push a button and just all of a sudden just lose everything. Now you like struggle to even cause anything. So you can see we're bumping up that number. I don't think we might have enough. We might have enough time I'm thinking of to actually get that number up higher. 30, let's go 75. What I might do, I'm gonna bump this down to 2, so this comes up a lot faster, and I'll just keep an eye on everything. I want to see if I can get this done as soon as I can before 6 o'clock, and that's all our other objectives. Oh, we need to repair those power lines, and I've got 15 or so minutes while that is doing that. I don't think there's much more I can do apart from the temperature rising, which it is doing extremely fast, but I really need to go over here and fix these 5 power lines, which is our last objective apart from all of that. Yep, there goes our resistor. That's why the screen is shaking. It took a lot longer than I was expecting it to be honest. But I'm not worried about that. And jump. And it should do it automatically after the holding of the left click. There we go. Charge it. Jumpy jump, because that's what the game mechanics are. It's not changed in a long time. And these cables, you get paid 40k instead of actually getting AO to, well, you pay AO, the robot, to fix them for you. So much easier if your character can reach them to fix them yourself. Here we go. This is number 4. And 5. So I'm just holding the left click to charge before plonking it on here. And just leaving it until it does its thing. So now that's fine. I'm happy with that. Let's run back upstairs and let's see in the 8 or 7 minutes now if we are able to get that number up even more. Going upstairs. The heartbeat is still going. That must be a bug of some sort, unfortunately. 364. This is going down. The zoom finally started working at the worst time. Let's go that. 12,000. No, I don't think we'll have enough time, but that's pretty much just about how you do it. The next one will be the next hour, but it will be the exact same thing, and we will definitely have the service compliance right there that we'll need to get the next hour. So wait for it to come in, and now it's 07 to 08. An extra hour after that, but that's exactly how you do that. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. Check out my other Nuclearies videos with the chemicals, RNG failures, and all that sorts of good jazz. Brings in xenon and heaps of other different things that I do explain in like a driving the reactor kind of car analogy on how I explain how this facility all works and more. I'll link that at the end of the video. Stay sharp till next time as always. See ya.